When I hear the word Tantra, my brain transforms it to sex, or people are like, Tantra, they think sex. Why does Tantra and sex are like so linked together? Something that I'll have to dive into when I talk about Tantra, because one of its main misconceptions and one of the things I can almost sense happening in people's brain, and it happens in my brain for a long time too. When I hear the word Tantra, my brain transforms it to sex, or people are like, Tantra, they think sex. Why are these so interlinked? Because from what I was just explaining, I wasn't really talking about sex that much, as you might have noticed. So then why does Tantra and sex are like so linked together? And why do they come hand in hand seemingly in society, in whatever you see out there from about Tantra? So the reason for that being is, well, remember that I described this book with these 112 methods. Some of those methods, I think it's like, I believe it's about 6 of the 112 methods or something. So anyone that can do fast maths, that's like a little percent. So it's not that Tantra is all about sex, yet it does include sexual practices and meditation around sex, because we don't deny any aspect of the human experience in tantric teachings. When the Western world found these teachings, found this book, found these methods, and it started seeing, wait, there are sexual practices too, they basically stamped it as the cult of sex. That's how quickly that went, because it was such a repressed topic, because sex is not taught basically anywhere, very limited. And so that also means that for many of us, because it's part of our human experience, like we all will be faced with our sexuality in one shape or another during this lifetime. And therefore it brings up curiosity, because we as humans want to understand ourselves. Like it's part of our being. So it feels unnatural to have to hide it away. But if society basically tells us that that's what we should do, it starts creating this hidden energy that starts lurking underneath the surface, not knowing like where its way out is. Like it starts creating these games, these drama plays, which is often what happens around sexuality. I would say most drama and pain happens around the topic of sexuality, around misunderstanding between men and women around this subject, within relationships, around like not being faithful, you name it. A lot of drama gets created around sexuality. And the main reason for that being is that we just don't have a proper education. And so we're just kind of like fumbling around in the dark, trying to like also climb out of like shame monsters, or however you want to visualize this for yourself. And so that means that there is actually a very deep desire to learn about sex, to understand sexuality, because it's one of the subjects where we barely have access to any information or proper education. So then here comes suddenly a spiritual teaching or a book that talks about sexual methods. Obviously, that's where a lot of the focus goes to, because that's where a lot of hidden energy is stuffed in a box that suddenly is like jumps on that and is like, I want to know, oh my God, and has a lot of judgments around it at the same time, but also a lot of curiosity. And so here is where the focus on Tantra being sex kind of originated and came from, and why that's still very present.